Hi everyone, welcome back to the African Freelancer series. We're so excited to talk to you today about professional skills. We'll not only be highlighting some key skills that are important to have as an AfriBlocks freelancer, but we'll also be providing information on how to best develop and further develop the skills that you already have. So the first thing we want to mention is really a reminder from our last week's video about building your AfriBlocks profile and further developing your online presence. We really want to highlight that it's so important to make sure you list all your skills on your AfriBlocks profile. Remember that clients can search by skill. So even if you know how to build a WordPress website, if that's not listed in your skills section, you could be easily missed when a client is searching for a freelancer to work with. So on the same note, we also want to mention the connection that you can make between your AfriBlocks profile and your LinkedIn profile. You should not only put your AfriBlocks profile on your LinkedIn profile, but you should make sure that your LinkedIn profile link is also on your AfriBlocks profile. This is because, again, they're not exactly the same, and there may be additional added value by having your LinkedIn profile accessible on your AfriBlocks profile as well. Again, integration is really the key to further showing that you are the best candidate for the job. The next thing that we wanted to talk about is really how to best turn a degree into a practical skill in which you've shown that you have a demonstrated experience in. And so it's very important to say that degrees are great accomplishments, and there's so much that you learn while in school. But one of the most important things that clients are looking for is that you've been able to translate that academic knowledge, that degree, into completing a project or a deliverable. And so one way to do this is to stay relevant in your field. And how do you do that? Research is key. Google, as always, is your best friend. And Google alerts make things even easier. So I'm sure as many of you know, you can really just set up an alert, not just for jobs or for topics of entertainment of interest, but you can set up alerts for, say, project management tools. That's another thing that I want to talk about. So for example, if you're a virtual assistant, and that's a job that you are able to get through the AfriBlocks platform, it's great to know what some of the latest tools are. For example, Slack, Asana, Trello, and of course Google Drive. Those are all some very common tools that a client may need you to know how to use to best complete the job. Or maybe it's not a tool that the client's using, but because of your knowledge and your know-how, you're able to suggest that to the client to further improve their platform or business. One very helpful way to really be in the know about the specific skills that are needed in your field is through looking at job descriptions. So even if you're working in the field and you're not specifically looking for a full-time position, it's still helpful to look at full-time jobs in your industry. It'll really show you the types of skills that are most important, that are relevant, and that people really want their employers to have. So for example, say you're a graphic designer. In addition to knowing Photoshop and InDesign, it's also important to know tools such as Canva, because maybe that's how your client wants you to share graphics with them as well. So again, having a comprehensive skill set based off of what's new in the field and what has already been around for a while really makes you very competitive in the job market, especially as a freelancer. The next skill I'm going to talk about is one of my favorites, and I think you already know this. I may have mentioned it a few times before, and that is communication. Yes, I know we had a whole video on professional communication. It even came up when we were talking about professional expectations. But I cannot tell you anymore that communication is the key. So for some specific context, I recently had a wonderful experience working with an AfriBlocks freelancer. This woman was able to build a website beyond what I could even envision. And I think a lot had to do, again, not just because of her great website development skills, but also because of her ability to communicate, to ask questions, and to really follow through to ensure that we were both on the same page. So again, I'll say it one last time. Communication is key. So, before I touch on the specific skills that tend to make a competitive AfriBlocks freelancer, I really want to touch on ways that you can build your skill set. Maybe you're a recent graduate or still in school, you've joined the platform and you feel like you're not competitive enough. You may have skills that you've learned in the classroom setting, but you don't yet have practical experience with them yet. So, one way that you can further develop these skills is through using, again, free resources on the internet. There are so many courses out there, there's so many platforms out there. And yes, I know this can definitely be overwhelming. I myself am someone who loves to take advantage of professional development opportunities, but often get overwhelmed by just the number of things out there and also being able to manage my time to complete them. And so one thing I suggest is to identify one specific skill you want to work on. Search for a course within that skill set, and then identify just one course that you can take and focus on. That'll really help you streamline your learning process. So for those of you that may be new to the AfriBlocks Freelancer platform, you may be wondering, well, what are the skills that people usually hire for? Really, what do I need to be most competitive on there to ensure that I can get some clients? And so some of the main skills you'll see are things that I've maybe been mentioning as we've been going along in this series. So website developers and designers are a huge part of the AfriBlocks platform. It's a very coveted skill, and again, not a lot of people have that skill. And so if you can do that, have a developing skill set in that, AfriBlocks platform is definitely for you. Another skill we want to touch upon are creatives, designers. Can you develop flyers? Can you create marketing materials? Are you able to build different visuals? Graphic design. That is a huge component of the AfriBlocks Freelancer network. Another skill that I want to mention is writing, all types of writing. Proofreading, editing, developing articles, things like that. If you're able to write and you're able to write well, and even translate in different languages, which will be very helpful again in the global network of AfriBlocks, that's another great skill to have. And maybe now you're thinking, okay, well, I have a skill in something that was not actually mentioned. That's just a subset of the skills. Really, if you're able to do a job remotely from wherever you are for other people, there's definitely a place for you on the AfriBlocks Freelancer network. Well, that's it for today, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to Professional Skills. We hope that we were able to give you a bit of insight about some of the most valuable skills, how you can further develop them and build them as well. So as always, don't forget to subscribe to both AfriBlocks and ChilomboCareers on all social media platforms. And stay tuned for our next and final episode of the series, 10 Reasons Why Our Clients Should Hire an AfriBlocks Freelancer. See you next time.